Slime. It is arguably one of the most important resources in any Minecraft world, whether you're making sticky pistons, slime stone, or just straight up a bouncy castle. It is an amazing resource to have, but with so many different farms out there, what is the best slime farm for you in your world? Hello guys, how's it going? My name's Fozzen, and to begin this episode on slime farms, we are not even going to be talking about slime. Okay, so check this out. Okay, so there is a ruined portal right here, and if I fly off into these unloaded chunks, things are going to get real glitchy here, but if we just fly, I think it's just over here. There's actually another one, and I have not been able to find one in Fozzencraft. Look at me. I'm a little floating head. Anyway, like I mentioned, we are going to be going over slime farms today, and not just any farms, we have some very special ones here with us today. This first one right here is actually a design by Gnembom. It is an incredibly simple farm, and we are going to be going into detail about it today. Not in this world because there's no spawn proofing, but you know, test worlds are always a little bit ugly, so I figured we may as well start here. The next farm is actually one by ilmango, so we are going with some pretty popular names here. You have probably heard of these farms before, and now we are actually going to be going into a direct comparison in between them. And not only are we going to be comparing ilmango's farm and Gnembom's farm, I have actually constructed Xisumavoid's Season 7 Hermitcraft, Season 7 of Hermitcraft, slime farm. The first two farms I actually mentioned, the ones by ilmango and Gnembom, are designed in a single chunk, and this one is a beast of a farm. It is designed across 4 slime chunks, and we are definitely going to be talking about this one today because I find it incredibly interesting. I mean, for goodness sakes, who could? This thing is powered by Looting 3. And just like we've done so many times before in our tutorials, we will be beginning with an overview of the farms, going over each of them, mentioning some cool mechanics of each of them, and then going into the direct comparisons, the pros, the cons, everything you need to know about these farms before you build them in your world. One last thing I would like to mention is that this is not a tutorial. I have looked online and I did not find a single tutorial for Xisumavoid's farm, so that may be something that we do in the future. And actually, Gnembom's and ilmango's both have tutorials, so I will be linking all the videos that I found these farms in, and maybe, just maybe, we will be doing some tutorials on these in the upcoming days. And to put it simply, because this farm is not a tutorial, we are actually going to be going through it a little bit differently than normal. And to begin, we are going to be hitting an overview of each of the farms. Afterwards will be the drops, the pros and the cons, and my personal favorite. So you can skip towards that if you are not interested in learning about the farm itself. But to begin, let us talk about Gnembom's farm. Gnembom's farm design is simple and elegant, and you could not go easier with a slime farm on this one. It is easy to mine, there is not a large area that you need to dig out at all, and there is practically no redstone that you need. The farm uses simple tricks like this tripwire up on top, and this actually makes it so that more mobs can spawn outside of the farm, moving them inwards, and that is some of the cool mechanics we're going to talk about in a moment. But down below, you can see that it is, simply put, just some water. The entire farm is powered by the slime's own AI. Ilmango's farm, on the other hand, actually is a little bit more complicated. You have the same spawning platform idea and principle, using the one chunk to get as many slimes as possible, but you actually will use iron golems to lure the slimes out to the side so that they die quicker. Now, like I mentioned with Gnembom's farm, if you are doing one chunk, this is not necessary. You will be totally okay with just using the simple AI wandering off. But when you're trying to get more slimes in a bunch of chunks in a small amount of time, this is the kind of farm that you want to get that mob cap cleared out as quick as possible. The slimes will spawn, they are lured to the iron golems, they will fall to their death on these magma blocks, and then you can collect it with these minecarts right here. It is, again, a super simple design and very easy to build in your world. Xisumavoid actually chose to go another route, and this farm was originally designed so that he could get slime heads, and this will only apply to if you are actually using a data pack that supports that, but this is the best farm for that if you are going for heads. Apart from that though, it is a crazy farm with slime spawning in 4 chunks being ushered to the center in a circular fashion to those iron golems. Oh my goodness, it is just so cool. And if we come up to the top, you can see that they actually get launched into lava when they get to the top. This breaks down the bigger slimes, making sure that everything can get ushered into that honey block area. And the reason those honey blocks are there is actually really, really cool, because not only can you pull the blocks and stuff out with hoppers, you can actually stop the slimes from jumping, making your entire AFK experience a whole lot better. Basically, this farm is geared around you using looting 3 to increase the loot, even though there are less spawns, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. We've now got the farms in our testing world, and we can check out the rates as well as go into a little bit more detail on all the different parts of the farm. But right here, I actually have a few cool mechanics that we do want to go through. Now, this video is not about these mechanics, and that is why I'm not going to be going into great detail about them, but I am going to mention them so that you can look them up if they interest you. And the first one is this string. Now, this is best shown on Gnembomb's farm design, and actually there is a layer of tripwire all around the edge of his farm. And the reason that is there is actually to increase the highest block. That is why Gnembomb's and ilmango's farms are built so low down in the world. That is this next part right here, bedrock. The lower your farm is in the world, the more mobs that will actually successfully spawn. And it's a little bit complicated, you can look that up, but the lower in the world the better, and that is why Gnembom used string to bring the level equal to the rest of the farm, so that you could have something that is called pack spawning. And then down here there is actually a torch, because each of these farms was lit up so that only slimes could spawn in the farm, keeping everything really, really, like, I just really love that about slimes. They spawn in high light levels, and they just don't care about light levels. The next is actually a sword, and the reason for that is, in this world there are no caves. Basically, what you are going to have to do in your world is either A, blow up all the caves, which it does work, but it does take a lot of effort, or you can go in cave and make sure that all of the spawning spaces are covered. Of course, you don't need to do every single one, but even just one spot will lower the rates drastically. And, bearing these things in mind, let's actually take another look at these farms right before we drop into the rates. I've just turned Xisuma's farm on, and the first thing I've noticed is actually that a zombie has spawned. So it is apparent that I did not keep the light levels high enough throughout the entire farm, but that is okay. If I do a tutorial on it, I will make sure that that is done properly. But you guys can see that this farm really, really does crank out the slimes. So we have those circular platforms, making sure that the iron golems always have line of sight with the slimes. That's a hard one to say. Say line of sight. No, I got it wrong. Line of sight with the slimes at all times. Down at the bottom of the water stream, there is actually slime blocks, and that makes it so that if any of the slimes do fall out of the stream, they don't actually die. They land on those slime blocks, and that way you can actually get the kill once they come back up to the top. There's also the 2 iron golems right up at the top. One of them is luring them out of that lava breakdown chamber, and another is luring them over to where the player is, making sure that you get all the kills, and none of them kind of loiter in that one corner. Overall, this farm is just really, really excellent. You can see that you're getting slime. If you had data packs on to get heads, you would be getting those as well, and this makes it perfect for a farm where you actually want to collect those heads, because none of the other ones will offer that. They just offer you the slime balls from those mag block kills, and that is why this one is extra special. Gnembom's design is incredibly simple. There's not much else that I can say on it except for look at those slimes. Oh my goodness. So I do know that these slimes are probably hitting the mob cap just because look at them, there's so many. But yeah, this is still an incredibly simple design, very, very easy to build in your world. And if you are doing one all by itself, I mean, This seems like the best idea. I mean, just look at it down here at the bottom. Everything is so streamlined. They fall off, they get swept down, and they either burn in the lava or get hit on those magma blocks, and 4 hoppers can keep up with every single one of these individual farms. It is crazy. And last, but definitely not least, is ilmango's design, and oh wow, just check it out. I mean, with those iron golems, it speeds it up a serious amount from Gnembom's, and I think the advantage of having those iron golems is when you are going to be doing more than one slime chunk in an area, because this helps keep it from hitting that mob cap all the time. And oh my goodness, look at how often those minecarts have to stop. That is a lot of slime. If you had this much in a world, you would be set. And down here at the bottom, you can see there's a very simple unloading system. Just 2 minecarts running back onto some single... what are these called? Unloading systems, I think it is. But yeah, this farm is super simple. The iron golems are working great. Similar to Gnembom's, there is not much complexity, but it works very, very well. Now that we have finished the general overview, we are actually going to be talking about the rates, and I have some sad news. Sad news, guys. I did this testing in a super flat world. I wanted to do it in a normal world, but I just couldn't. And the reason for that is actually because my computer is not powerful enough to world edit out a big enough chunk for a perimeter. But basically, spawning for slimes is nerfed in in super flat worlds. Basically, that means that I cannot give you accurate numbers based on the amount of hours, but I can give you a relative comparison. And actually, if you go and check out Gnembom's and ilmango's videos, they actually mention the drops of a single chunk for one of these farms, and that is right around 7,000 to 8,000 range. That is a serious amount of slime for one chunk. But this farm right here, in a super flat world on low local difficulty, actually clocked in at about 9,000 slimes per hour, and that is not that decent considering it is very complex and a 4 chunk radius. But you have to bear in mind that there is that problem with the super flat world, and also you you have to bear in mind, I don't know what you have to bear in mind. I totally lost my train of thought there. But yeah, anyway, this farm is really good for the heads, but not so much for the slime balls. And now we're actually going to talk about Gnembom. So when you are running Gnembom's farm with 4 chunks, it actually clocks in at 11,353 slime balls per hour, which is... that is very only slightly more than 1 chunk. But if you are doing ilmango's farm in 4 chunks, exactly like this one is right here, you actually get 46,600 slimes in 1 hour. Well, slime balls, that is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. So, yeah, with the rating that I am going to be giving for this world, it is actually going to be number 1, Gnembom's farm. And the reason for that is because it is so simple. If you need if you need more than 8,000 slime per hour, then yes, you are definitely going to be wanting the number 2 spot, ilmango's farm design. And in number 3 is Xisumavoid's, because although it is very nifty, it is very custom, it doesn't get you that much slime balls. So unless you are looking for those heads, this is a farm that I would recommend you actually do not build. Stick with the Gnembom, stick with the ilmango. And the pros of these farms are as follows. For Xisumavoid's, the pros are the slime heads, and also that you can get a bunch of experience while you're using this farm. The cons are, it's not very efficient, and you also can't AFK without being there swinging your sword. The pros for Gnembom's farm are, of course, the simplicity. It is an incredibly simple design. It is one of the first, it could be one of the first farms you build in Minecraft. Honestly, all you have to do is really dig a hole. And the cons are, it really only works with 1 or 2 slime chunks before you start to lose a lot of efficiency. And for ilmango's farm, the pro is definitely that you can have it and get crazy amounts of slimes. If you need more than 8,000 per hour, then yeah, I recommend ilmango's farm design. Please let me know down below. Do you agree with my rating? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm completely wrong? And either way, I'm going to have to thank you guys for tuning in to Fozzen Finds, the first one, and this is the slime farm comparison in between ilmango, Gnembom, and Xisumavoid. So if you did enjoy this video, do leave a like down below. I would love to hear what you guys thought of this video. I'm going to be probably considering doing some tutorials for these farms in the near future. And until I see you guys in the next episode, it is bye for now for me, guys. And if you loved it, leave that like down below, hit subscribe, and catch up with all my latest videos. And now, it is bye for real!